Okay, I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not. If anyone can hear me type anything, or hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not.
If anyone can hear me type anything,
Okay, I guess that was
or
yeah.
hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not.
If anyone can hear me type anything,
Okay, I guess that was
or
yeah.
hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not.
If anyone can hear me type anything,
Okay, I guess that was
or
yeah.
hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not.
If anyone can hear me type anything,
Okay, I guess that was
or
yeah.
hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not.
If anyone can hear me type anything,
Okay, I guess that was
or
yeah.
hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not.
If anyone can hear me type anything,
Okay, I guess that was
or
yeah.
hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not.
If anyone can hear me type anything, or hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not.
If anyone can hear me type anything, or hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not.
If anyone can hear me type anything, or hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not.
If anyone can hear me type anything, or hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not.
If anyone can hear me type anything, or hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not.
If anyone can hear me type anything, or hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not.
If anyone can hear me type anything, or hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not.
If anyone can hear me type anything, or hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on YouTube. I don't know if this shit's working or not.
If anyone can hear me type anything, or hell, if anyone's here, type
Okay,
anything.
I am actually waiting on you.
Alright, somebody just let me know if this is any better, or if it's still coming in fucked up. I'm just starting over from scratch, so I'll just keep talking, and just let me know if his sound is coming in good, or if it's not, then I'll restart the shit again. Alright, sweet. Looks like we're good to go. Alright, start over from scratch. Hello, this is St. Patrick. Welcome to the Church of Fuck You. Um, I wanted to start, like I say, to do the whole doing nothing while claiming to do something. This is where people claim to do stuff or claim to be helping or to do something beneficial to other people while in reality they aren't really doing shit. Um, Obviously, I'm gonna talk about the government and the politicians and all this other shit, but I'll also start talking about religious people. As a matter of fact, I'll start with them. And I think it's really amazingly funny how some religious people are quick to say that they will pray for you. I don't know how you feel about prayer. If you, I'm assuming you follow some of my videos in the past, so you already know how I feel about prayer. And it's to me, the prayer is like the single worst action of doing nothing while claiming to do something. Um, it's funny, but it's like even like biblically, if you actually read the Bible, or some people who's read the Bible, whatever, it talks about how just saying praying for someone while actually doing nothing is literally the equivalent of doing nothing. But yet, people in their religious sect still seem to do, um, still seem to feel like that's their obligation just to say, "I'll pray for you." Like if you see a starving man on the street, you'll say, "Well, I'll pray for you," and then just move on. Or if you see somebody sick, or you see somebody who just pretty much needs help, you'll just say, "I'll pray for them," and move on. Pretty much, that's just, in my opinion, the religious way of just saying, "Fuck you, I got other shit to do, or I got better shit to do, or I really don't care that much." So I'll just throw out a quick prayer and just move on with my life. That is like the biggest example of actually doing absolutely nothing while claiming to do something to help someone or to do something for someone. And I always find it funny how people, they ask for prayers online, or they'll go to Facebook and be like, "Please pray for me because I have X and Y going on in my life." And it's like, how, I'm about to lose my house, or I'm about to lose my car, or something, crazy is going on. Can you please pray for me? And I always find it funny how instead of just saying, pray for me, how about just be real and be like, "Dude, can you just help me out in this situation?" Because I think that works much better. I think it's more direct. I think it's more logical, just to be like, "I need help." But apparently, that is beyond the realm of doing something intelligent, and it's beyond, I guess, people's understanding that we need action as opposed to just fucking words. Because sometimes words is helpful, it's soothing, it can help you a lot, but sometimes word just doesn't mean shit. I mean, it doesn't mean shit to you, and you need help at that particular moment. You don't need words. You need somebody to lend a helping hand, or, put in $20 or something. But that's just the best way to describe the whole, literally doing absolutely nothing, or doing the least amount you can possibly do while claiming to be the most helpful, or claiming to be the most, I'm there for you, and it's all bullshit. But getting on to like the government is notorious for this shit. I mean, they're really, really, really bad. The two examples that I thought of, and honestly, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this because I got another topic I want to get to. The two examples that are really, I guess, really highlight this. One was the whole gun debate, which I found utterly hilarious. Um, I'm pretty sure everyone is familiar with the whole little Connecticut thing, and after the Connecticut shooting at the school, the whole gun debate started, where everyone was, animate about, we need to change the gun laws, we need to do this, we need to do that. And the one thing that the government wanted to go after was, assault rifles. And assault rifles are, semi-automatic rifles, and they're deadly, and they're horrible, and all these mass shootings are happening with these assault rifles, and all these people are dying from these, semi-automatic rifles, or automatic rifles, or assault rifles. And it was just, it was so interesting how they just went after the rifles. And to the layman person, to the people who really don't know shit, that seemed like a great idea. Oh my gosh, we need to go after these assault rifles, and we need to go after the whole, um, oh shit, what was it? The whole gun show loophole, because the gun shows are just horrible, and people are just buying firearms left and right, and they're taking all these assault rifles and killing all these people with these assault rifles, and we need to just do something. And it sounds, like I say, it sounds good. It sounds amazing. It's like the government is really taking a stand on guns, and they're trying to execute this, this whole plan on guns. And we're gonna get rid of all of this shit, and we're gonna be much safer. But it's fine until you actually look at the reality of the situation. Now, unfortunately, we live in a world where reality just doesn't mean shit. And I actually covered that in one of my videos, where about the whole 32nd generation and a lot of other shit that goes on in this world. I mean, reality is not a big part of what people live in. People like to live in a fantasy world because it's fun there. It's safer there. It's, we can change things in fantasy land because it's easier to change things in fantasy land. We can change things, and we can do things that we want to do because we don't have to deal with the reality situation. Now, when the whole gun thing came out, obviously I started researching it because I thought it was extremely interesting. Um, and I actually went to, and I will post a link if you care to look, the whole FBI.gov and about crimes and murder and all this other good stuff and how people die. And I'm actually posting a link now. Um, and I know it's from 2011, but I think this is around about the time where all that shit happened, if I'm not mistaken. Um, But if you look at the numbers, the total number of murder victims in 2011 was 12,664. 8,583 actually died by firearms. Of those firearm murders, 6,220 were committed by handguns. Now let me repeat that. 6,220 were committed by handguns. Shotguns was 356. Other guns, or type not stated, was 1,684. Rifles, the ones that they were so heavily going after that they needed to eradicate and get rid of, um, and I remember these people debating, why do you need 100 round clips? And no one needs to have clips for 100 rounds. And no one needs these high powered assault rifles and all this other shit. Rifles actually were responsible for 323 deaths. Out of 8,583, rifles were responsible for 323 deaths. That's it. So while the government was making this huge plan and huge push to get rid of all these fucking assault rifles and firearms because the world was going to come to an end with all these, you know, assault rifles on the street and all these mass shootings and all these killings and everything, literally it was like a drop in a bucket compared to handguns. Now, if the government really wanted to do anything serious and really wanted to fight the handgun or the gun problem, they would actually go after handguns. But the government decided not to do that. They decided to just go after rifles. Why? I don't know. But again, doing nothing while claiming to do something. Then they wanted to go to the background checks, and they were, we have to get more background checks, and we, have to close the gun show loophole. And there was a article, if I remember correctly, and I'll try to find a link. But there was an article that was written about, I guess, where criminals obtained their guns, and I believe it was John Hopkins. And I know I should have researched this before, but I'm fucking tired. I believe it was John Hopkins where they polled all of the prisoners and where they were able to get, not all, but like I think it was like 1,000 or some. It was a number of prisoners that they polled, and they were asking, where did they obtain their guns from? The majority of them obtained them through either stealing it or like pretty much buying it black market. Like I want to say it was like either 1 or 2% obtained their firearms through gun shows, like 2%. But what is the first thing that they want to attack? They want to attack the 2%. And I just find it really, really interesting how they go after like the most minute shit. And I guess maybe they do it because they probably figured it's easier to do it that way. It's easier to go after the really small things so people, hopefully will let it fly or let it go past. But the problem is they're going after shit that really in the end doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't fucking matter. I read numerous articles on this, and they were talking about how, I guess, the government agencies that they have set up to regulate gun dealers are so far behind. They're completely behind. They don't have enough funding to regulate them. Gun dealers are just selling guns like out of the back of their store, and they're selling it black market, or it's like third party sales to where like somebody who's a criminal can't obtain a gun legally, so they have somebody else buy the gun for them. So there goes your whole background check bullshit out the window. Because if I have my cousin buy it for me, my cousin give it to me, my cousin reported stolen, I have my gun is stolen, whatever, I'm done. It goes around the whole, background check, and we need to have people mentally stable to buy guns and all this other shit. It's just, I know you've heard the old saying, and I know people get pissed off when people say it. Um, I think the problem is that we are so fixated and so, I guess, focused on just the small, minute bullshit that we miss the bigger picture of everything. And it really doesn't make sense on a lot of issues and a lot of stands that, I guess, like, politicians go after I guess, the most, I don't know how to describe it. Just the dumbest shit. Like, literally just the dumbest shit. Of all things you can fight when it comes to when it comes to guns, you go after the fucking rifles, which literally is like the smallest fucking problem ever. Now, I'm not saying rifles aren't the problem. I'm saying that there's a huge discrepancy when it comes to big issues, or I'm sorry, there's a huge discrepancy when it comes to the problem when it comes to guns. And handguns are by far the biggest fucking problem when it comes to violent crimes, murders, and everything. Handguns is the biggest fucking problem. But yet we choose to focus on rifles. The secondhand buying, the backdoor dealing, the stealing of guns, that is the biggest fucking issue when it comes to guns getting into the hands of people who should not have them. But yet we focus on gun shows. And like I say, it sounds amazing. It really sounds amazing when politicians come out and they do this whole big speech about something and they make it seem like they really fucking care about you and they really want to make change and they really want to make progress and they really want to do all these wonderful things to make our streets safe. And it's all bullshit if you actually just look at it. And I know I've harped on this before. The problem is there's just too much money from there's too much money from lobbyists in the whole fucking government that it is so hard to get shit done. Now, I'm not saying I'm pro gun. I obviously own a gun. I'm not saying I'm pro gun. I'm not saying I'm against guns, but I think the biggest issue is you can't have the NRA in the pockets of so many fucking people and expect anything to get done. You just can't. Now, if you want to have sensible, logical, meaningful gun laws, then I guess the best way to fucking do it, um, the really best way to fucking do it is to actually get all the fucking lobbyists out of it. Like you just can't do it. You can't have somebody pretty much lining your pockets and then you're gonna vote something that fucks them over. It doesn't happen. And I've covered that before, but we'll move on. The next one that I really want to talk about was healthcare. Which I think is so amazing when you look at it. The whole Obamacare thing. Now, again, I know if you follow my videos, I'm sure you know, but I'm not saying I'm pro or against. But what I'm saying is what they have just accomplished years ago, whatever, as far as signing in a new healthcare law and expanding it and doing all these wonderful things, honestly, it fucked so many people. It's not even funny. And I know some people. It's what I find interesting is that if somebody posts a comment or anything saying that, hey, this whole new Obamacare plan fucked me. It raised my deductible. It raised my premiums. It did all this. Apparently, you're just a anti-healthcare piece of shit who doesn't want anybody to have health insurance and you don't want everybody to die. I mean, literally, that's what it is. And it's like, I think the biggest issue that I have with this is that you can't even have an intelligent discussion about healthcare or about guns or about any fucking thing without immediately being labeled. But that's another conversation for another day. The whole healthcare thing. In my personal opinion, they should have did one or two things. Either they should have just made the whole fucking shit a socialist thing and just have healthcare free for everyone, which obviously we all know it's not going to be free because their taxes will go up, or they should just let the shit alone. What they did was they pretty much changed the way the healthcare system works. As far as certain things are now included in your plan, whether you want it or not. You have to pay for certain things whether you want it or not. Companies are now required to pay for certain things whether they wanted to or not. And in the end, what happened was it raised a lot of premiums for some people. The whole thing about we have 50 million people uninsured. We have 50 million people uninsured. Well, even the plan they put in place, the fucking plan they put in place is only going to cover 20 additional million people. So we're still going to have 30 million people uninsured. So the plan, in its essence, did not eradicate the uninsured. And what a lot of people fail to realize is that having insurance doesn't mean shit. Having insurance does not mean you get health care, as numerous people are finding out. Having insurance does not mean that you can go to the doctor anytime you want, pay your $20 copay, and leave, as numerous people are fucking finding out. My insurance now is so fucking bad, I can't even afford to use it. And I'm not just saying this is for me, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Republican or I hate fucking helping the poor or I hate all these people and I don't want everybody to die, all this other bullshit that people keep throwing out there. I'm saying this as personally, my fucking insurance sucks. Before Obamacare, my insurance was actually not that bad. You pay your $20 copay, you pay your $50 copay, if you have to go to like the urgent care or whatever the case may be, and you go on about your business. Now, again, I can't fucking afford to use it. Like literally, and the premiums are going up, and it's like now I'm paying for something that I can't afford to use, but I have to pay for it because if I don't, I get a fucking tax penalty, and I don't know how much the tax penalty is, but I don't want to. I don't feel like fucking with the IRS because I've dealt with them enough, and they're pains in the ass to deal with. So again, the whole we're gonna offer healthcare, we're gonna do all this wonderful things and all this other stuff, and at the end of the day, they just fucked so many people. And I just find it interesting how we get into the numbers of it, and a lot of times the people, I guess it all depends. And remember how I say fun with statistics. Um, it all depends on what side of the fence you're on. It all depends on what side of the fence you're sitting on. If you're one of the people whose premiums went up and the deductible went up and all this other shit went up, you're sitting on the fence of fuck this plan. If you're one of the people who got under the new, expanded Medicaid or Medicare or whatever it was, and now all your shit is free, you're loving this shit. But again, that's I guess the democracy we live in, and I've quoted this before, which I thought was extremely hilarious. 51% of the people can force the other 49% of the people to do whatever they want them to do, because that's democracy. And I think it's so bad, it's so fucking bad. And that's why I said in the beginning, they should have either made it just a single payer healthcare system, just say fuck everything, make a single payer, which I know some people don't agree with. That's fine. But again, that would have been changed. That would have actually been doing something. Whether you agree with it or not, that would have been doing something. Whether you wanted it to happen or not, that would have been doing something. But at the current state, they literally did nothing but fuck so many people over. And it's epically bad, and a lot of people are just they hate it. But apparently, you can voice your hate for this plan because if you do, you just want people to die. That's it. That's all you want. You don't want anyone to have health insurance. You just want people, and people keep coming up with this. And I thought it's always so funny what the argument is. I'm tired of paying for your ER bill, so you're going to pay for their insurance. I think that's the funniest shit in the world, because a lot of people who are on insurance they're getting subsidized, so we don't want to pay the $1,000 ER bill, but we don't mind paying the, $12,000 premiums for your insurance. I mean, like literally, the logic is so bad. It is so fucking bad. But again, everyone has talking points, and everyone recycles talking points, and everyone uses the exact same talking points to make themselves feel better about their stance. All right, my topic that I wanted to talk about, and I'm actually in the middle of um, debating this in my brain as far as which one I want to do. Um, I really want to talk about morals, and I guess how do I word this? I want to talk about morals, and I guess what is the definition of a moral? Like, what do we deem to be moral or immoral? What do we deem to be, right or wrong? What do we deem to be I guess good or bad. And I find it funny how depending on where you live and what's your stance and the shit that you went through in your life, you have certain things that you deem as moral. You have certain things that you deem as immoral. Religious people have their moral beliefs, which drives me fucking insane because everything is a goddamn sin. You can't even look at somebody wrong without it being a sin, which is all bullshit to me. Um, the funny thing remember reading was religion is where you have to apologize for being human. Because apparently it's wrong to be human. But the I guess the morals, and let me explain this. Um, okay, more interracial relationship stuff. Okay, fuck it. Let's go to interracial relationships. All right. Well, I really didn't plan for this, Mr. Don, but fuck it. We'll just wing it. Um, interracial relationships. I am currently in one, and what I don't know what I don't know what the hell to say about interracial relationships. Um, I guess this is what I feel. This is what I found, and I will tell you from my experience. One, all women are fucking crazy. Anyone who tells you otherwise is completely pulling your chain. All women are fucking insane, like literally fucking clinical insane. Um, it just it just is what it is. I can't even. I, there's scientific proof, obviously, somewhere has studied it, but obviously it'll never be released because the feminists will shoot that shit down. Um, but what I found as far as relationship wise is that everyone comes to the fucking table with their own bag of crazy. Now, believe me when I tell you, and I know this is going to be hard for you guys to believe. Believe me when I tell you, I am probably the worst fucking person to ever be in a relationship with. I by far, I am the biggest fucking asshole you will ever meet in your life. Um, I know some people are just regular assholes. Like I am deceptively an asshole. I come off as fun and jokey and laughing and everything is lighthearted and shit. But I am a real pain in the ass to deal with. And I really don't know how my girl does it or even put up with it, but she has. Probably because she's fucking insane, which goes back to proving my point. There you go, scientific proof. Um, but everybody comes to a relationship with their own bag of bullshit, basically, and it just depends on how much bullshit you're willing to deal with. I'm not going to try to bash black women the whole time, so please don't take it as that. But I have found that some, and I'm going to repeat this, some black women, they just come to the table with they come to the table with fucking anger. And I think that's the best way to put it. They come to the table pissed off with whatever the fuck they're pissed off about. And I know some black men do it too, so don't take it as just women. Um, and I'm not going to say all, but some black women come and black men come to the table with just fucking anger. Anger with being apparently oppressed, anger with previous relationships, anger with how their life was prior to their relationship, and just really fucking pissy, like really pissed off for some reason. And a lot of times that anger just boils out in the most ridiculous fucking ways. Um, they just they're just angry all the time, and you're just like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, there's no and it's funny. I remember Cat Williams was like, he was like, dudes be coming downstairs and they're already angry and mad. He's like, damn, dude, you angry at breakfast? Like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, what's going on? It's breakfast. Just eat your food. And it's like, it's so funny. Um, that they're pissed. They're just fucking pissed so much. And I don't understand the logic of it, and I don't understand the reasoning of it, but they are. They're just angry. And a lot of black women, again, I'm not saying all, a lot of black women, they have this attitude and they have this mindset that like you fucking owe me. Like it's like they feel like they're the queen of fucking Egypt, and there is a privilege and a pleasure, and it's a desire that you should want to worship the ground they walk on. And again, I'm not saying all, but there are some who just feel like you should be in heaven just because you're with them, or like you're supposed to be with them. And whenever you give them a reality check, like fuck you, dude, I can leave tomorrow, they take that as like a personal insult, like a personal attack to their character. And I have found, and I'm not saying all, but I have found that some black women feel like they're entitled for doing nothing. Like they're just completely entitled for doing absolutely positively nothing. Like they don't have to do shit, but they feel like they're just, they should be worshipped. And it's so fucking annoying. It really, really is. And dear God, don't have a child with one of them. And again, I'm not saying all. I'm gonna keep repeating this because I know somebody's gonna give me shit. I'm not saying all, but some black women, and I would just be flat out honest, they have this ghetto fucking mentality that like they're in charge, they're empowered, they're like just the big shit, and they feel like flat out that they should be the ones controlling everything. And if you dare to question their authority or question their controlling nature, then you become the piece of shit. You become the bad parent, or you become just the worst person in the world because you dare to question their authority. And it's so it's really really bad. And I found that honestly, like some black women, they get offended and upset with black men who step outside their race. And I find this hilarious because there is a lot of, again, not saying all, there are a lot of black women who don't want the black man, but they don't want the black man to be with somebody else outside of their race. And I remember like Charles Barkley, when he said he was growing up, like none of the black girls wanted to talk to him, none of the black girls wanted to deal with him. They just pretty much like he was fat, he was ugly, they didn't want to deal with him. So when he got with a white woman, and obviously he made a little bit of money, all of a sudden he becomes a sellout because he decided to not marry a black woman. And it's like, well, if none of you bitches wanted to be with me, what the fuck you want me to do? But again, that doesn't matter in their world. Their world is just their fucking world. And another thing I just want to say, the last thing on this particular breed of people, um, they have this fucking complex. Like, again, back to the whole empowered thing. Like, I'm, you know what? Their self worth is a little bit too high for reality. And I'll just say it as that their self worth, like they feel like they are way more value. Like I've heard black women say, I am the mother of the earth, and I have done this and I have done that, and it's like, bitch, you haven't done shit. Like you work at fucking Kmart, you make $7 an hour, and you don't even pay your own fucking rent. Get the fuck out of here. Like you're not the mother of the earth. You're not shit. Well, I was on a slave plantation, bitch. You weren't on shit. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you lived in a fucking trailer for 6 months or whatever. You lived in your parents' basement. You haven't done this shit, and it's like we have this tendency to hype up people and make them bigger than what they are. Um. We have this tendency to hype up these people to make them bigger than they are, and they feed on this shit. They act like it's like they are the big shit. Like, oh my gosh, I'm the greatest woman ever to walk the earth because I am black and I am beautiful. And it's like, no, you are a bitch. And I'm sorry if you are a bitch. I don't give a fuck what color you are. A bitch is a bitch. Call it a day. And Don, dude, believe me, I haven't seen a lot of that, but I actually live in VA and well, northern VA, and we normally don't get a lot of crazy looks. I have seen a couple of black women stare at me and stare at my girl and look at us like we're fucking crazy. But normally people don't say anything, surprisingly. But I do find it funny how some black people hate it when you go outside your race and they find it offensive. And like some of my videos when I did about, I've done about black women, black women get so offended and so angry and so upset. And it's like, first of all, I wasn't talking to all of y'all. And second of all, you're just proving my fucking point. And it's amazing how many people prove the point of my videos by commenting shit that I said in my video. It's truly amazing. Um, White women? Oh, dear God, where do I start? Oh man, how much time do you have? I don't think there's enough fucking feed time for this. Um, I'm not going to say all, because obviously I would never do that. The white women come to the table with their own bag of bullshit as well. So does Spanish women. So does Asians, and so does Mexicans, and so any other breed you want to talk about. Every woman comes to the table, and I would say every man comes to the table with their own bag of bullshit. It all depends on what you're willing to deal with. Um, I have found, and again, I'm not saying that white women are better than black women or anything like that. I have found white women to be a little more, I want to say, laid back, not as much as, not as much as like a- it's like it's not a power thing with white women. And I'm not saying that again, I'm not saying that white are better than black. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it's not as much of a power trip when it comes to white women as opposed to black women. It's not as much of a, trying to assert their authority. It's like if you're in the fucking woods, it's like two gorillas fighting. One gorilla will be like, you know what, fuck it, come on, let's just go on with life. Another gorilla is like, want to bite your head off every time you say or do something because, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be in power. I'm supposed to be in charge, blah, 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 blah. And it's just so fucking bad. Um, Again, they do come to the table with their own bag of bullshit. And I'll leave that for another day. But um, it's not as much as a power trip. It's not as much as a, fighting tooth and nail. And I think this I'll probably feedback into my topic. Different people have different morals, and I think that's where it comes to, especially like in relationships. Different people have different morals. Like one of my morals is, and I'm not saying that I have known anybody to do this, so don't take it as that. And I'm not, trying to say I'm spreading my secrets and shit. So it's not like that. But I've had many conversations with people where it's like one of my morals is you never fuck with your girls, or you never fuck with either your girl's friend Like if you're in a couple, like you two in a couple, you guys break up and you start fucking with her best friend. That shit, you just don't do that shit. And like for guys, like if I'm with a girl, we break up and then my best friend start trying to fuck her, you just don't do shit like that. And then to me, that's like my moral ground. Like you don't you don't betray that trust. If like if it's my baby mother or if it's my main girl. And I mean, some dudes have side chicks that they don't mind their friends getting with, and that's fine. That's the rules or boundaries you set forth in your friendship. But if it's your main girl, you don't cross that line. That's just shit that you just don't fucking do. Um, and typically, I'm not gonna say all, but typically, like in the black community, that is actually a shared trait. Now, I don't know if it's because of color or because we got fucked over so much by our friends. We're just like, fuck that shit. You just don't do that. But typically, that's like something or a trait in a community of something that I guess more than me just share. Like more than myself just has that mentality that you just don't fuck with somebody else's. You don't fuck with your best friend's girl. You just don't do that shit. Um, but some people don't have that like fucking morality. Some people feel like pussy's pussy and it's open season. Some people feel like that it's okay to laugh in your face and try to fuck your girl behind your back. That's just shit that happens. And that's why I say, as far as the whole morality issue, we have big issues that we can deal with. Where it comes, obviously, I think everybody is against killing. I think everybody's against rape. I think everybody's against certain things like that. But morality stands beyond the obvious. It extends beyond the things that pretty much we can all put in black and white. Like, hey, don't fuck with little kids. I can find, or I hope not to find, anyone who feels like that is not a morality issue and that should be condoned, because that person needs to have their life card removed immediately. Um, that's just been revoked. Okay, stamp, bam, you're done. But don't fuck with little kids. But then the morality, it starts to shift, and I'm not gonna say shift. It starts to expand to a place where you know, sorry, it starts to expand to a place and a point where do you really, really think this is good or think this is bad? And again, like something as simple as, do you fuck with your friend's girl? Do you fuck with your friend's boyfriend? Shit like that. Now, stealing money. Like me personally, I hate thieves. Oh fuck. Oh gosh, I hate thieves. I hate thieves more than any fucking thing because, well, not more than anything, but I hate thieves because it's like, dude, what the fuck? Ask me. Just fucking pick up your phone or, just open your mouth and just ask me. Normally I'm a very normal and giving guy, so if you ask me for something, you have it, but just don't fucking steal from me. I hate fucking liars. I think lying is the huge moral issue. Because if you're untrustworthy, if someone can't trust you, then like what good are you? Like what is your point? If you can't say a sentence without lying or fabricating something or making something up, what is your point? Because to quote Scarface, the only thing you have in this world is your your word and your balls. Now, obviously, women don't have that part, but that's fine. They just have their word. But if you can't say something and like literally I can believe what you're saying, then like what fucking good are you? And to me that comes down to morality issue. That to me that comes down to a moral set of, do you like how can you just be just that person? How can you lie so much that literally I can't take nothing you say seriously? And even beyond morality, and one of the biggest subjects or one of the biggest topics that is out is that about abortion. Is it moral to kill a fetus or kill a baby? And some people call it murder, some people call it pro-choice, some people call it whatever they want to call it. And I think that's where our morals start to, I guess, our morals seep out into our opinions of everything. And I think the problem that we have in this particular country, which I don't think this country, around the world, period, is that people tend to try to impose their morals on other people. Like if I feel this is wrong, you should feel this is wrong, and if you don't feel this is wrong, then something's wrong with you, and either you're going to hell or you're just a shitty person, and everyone hates you. Um, and I think that's, to me, that's complete bullshit. Like I say, I hate fucking liars. Some people may feel that way. Some people may feel like it's okay to lie. I mean, they lie about every fucking thing. Now, me personally, I adjust the way I deal with that person, but that person may be able to sleep comfortable at night because they told the best lie in the world and they got what they wanted and life goes on. That's just different people have different morals. Some people feel like guns are horrendous and guns are bad and guns are wrong. And Guns should never be um, used ever. Some people feel like, hey, I use guns to go sporting and hunting and shoot a fucking deer, and we having some food tonight. And some people feel like, I just have a gun. But either way, we try to, I guess, when we get to the point where we start telling other people how they should live their life and dictating other people how they should live their life about our moral set, that's when the problems come in. And everyone does it. I don't give a fuck who you are. Everyone does it, myself included. And I think the problem is we get to the point now where we are judging people based on our morals. Now, sometimes I feel like it's justified. I really fucking do. If it comes to like if somebody's like I say molesting kids, fucking judge the shit out of that guy. If someone murders someone, judge the shit out of that guy. I think the morality when it comes to inflicting pain or harm or whatever on other people, I think we pretty much have a universal standard on that morality. But then, like I say, comes the fucking tricky part. One of the discussions we were having last week was about like rap music and what should be said in rap music and is this allowed or how some people feel like certain things shouldn't be done in front of children. Like some people feel like you shouldn't curse in front of children and old people. Some people feel like you shouldn't swear in public. Some people feel like you shouldn't smoke in certain spaces. And again, it all comes down to what your standard is. And I guess the problem is your morality sometimes, obviously, is always flexible because there's a lot of hypocrites out here. But sometimes your morality impedes on other people's morality. Sometimes what you feel is right impedes on somebody else's freedom or impedes on somebody else on what they feel is right. And I think that's where we get really fucking tricky is because again back to the whole 51% versus 49%. Some people feel like their morality is we should always take care of poor people, and that's their morality regardless of what any moral standard functioning country should always take care of poor people. But a person like me in my reality, fuck that shit, you take care of yourself. I should not have to be responsible for anybody else's fuck ups or mistakes. Ever. I am responsible. I have enough fuck ups and mistakes of my own in my life that I am still fucking paying for. I don't want to pay for somebody else's fuck up. And that's my morality. My morality is you fucking take care of yourself. It should be immoral to put your responsibility on other people. But some people's morality is simple. You need to take care of the poor people, whether they're poor by choice, whether they're poor because they were born into it, or whether they were, poor by choice is kind of a stupid thing to say, but whatever, you get the point. Poor by choice meaning that you just did a lot of fucked up shit. Like one lady, it's the funniest shit in the world, where she posted a FundMe account because she decided to take her whole entire paycheck to buy lottery tickets to hopefully hit the 1.5 billion. Well, guess what? She didn't hit, so now she's begging people for money online because now she has no money for food and shit. I'm sorry, fuck you. Wholeheartedly, fuck you. If you decide to take your whole fucking paycheck and not pay rent and not buy food and not do all this shit to go buy fucking lottery tickets, you deserve every fucking thing you get. But some people come back and say, well, no, what about the children? And her children need food and we need to help people. No, no, no. To me, morality, that's my moral issue. If you fuck up and you do something stupid, you should learn from the fucking consequences of you doing fucking something stupid. You should not go back and start begging people for money, and you should not go and get help from the government because you decided to do something fucking stupid. And that's where I guess that's where everything just starts to fucking blur. It really starts to blur because we have people who, again, the whole healthcare thing. People should have a right as a moral fiber country. People should have a right to healthcare at all times. Okay, that's your moral issue. That's what you feel like is a moral country supposed to do. Me personally, I feel like you need to get you need to earn every fucking thing you get. That's why if you haven't noticed, I'm not really super animate against like welfare, but I welfare fucking bothers me. I understand that sometimes in some cases people may need it, but people who post up on welfare for 5 or more years, no, fuck that shit. Get the fuck off. People who have like 12 fucking kids, to me that's fucking immoral. You shouldn't have one child if you can't afford to take care of it. Why the fuck are you having 7 or 8? But again, flip back to the other side. Some people's more issue is their children. You have to take care of them, regardless of what happens, regardless of how they get here. You got to take care of them. But that's where the whole thing just becomes. It becomes a push and pull. And again, I don't mind people having morals. I do not mind people taking a stand on stuff. Like people who feel like, you shouldn't have an abortion. Fine. If you want to feel like you can impose your morals on someone else and say this girl cannot have abortion, then fine. You take the baby and you take care of the baby. Simple as that. And every woman who decides not to have abortion because her choice has been pretty much dissuaded, or her choice has been eradicated by people with their moral compass and their moral feelings on abortion, then fine. Every woman who has the baby, take that baby, give it to the people who decide abortion should be wrong. But a lot of people who make those moral decisions and moral choices doesn't want to do that, which is again one of the things I find hilarious. The people who feel like abortion is wrong generally are the same people who feel like welfare is wrong. So a baby is fine until the baby is born, and then the baby is born. It's like fuck you. You take care of your own baby. You should never had a baby if you couldn't take care of it. And it's like, dude, pick a fucking side. Like, which side are we on? Either the baby is a baby and the baby needs to be taken care of, or the baby is not a baby, or if you care about the baby completely, which means after the baby is born, the baby should be taken care of, or you don't care about the baby at all, and then let her get the abortion. But again, this is where we're at as far as like our moral standard, our moral issue. Um, we feel like we can impose our will and impose our beliefs on other people and have no consequences come to us. And I think that's where I get extremely fucking irritated when it comes to the whole moral issue. And a lot of people, which I find also extremely fucking irritating, is a lot of people don't mind imposing their moral beliefs on other people, but they never want to have somebody impose their moral beliefs on themselves. Like they are fine saying you should do this and you should do that, but as soon as somebody turn around and say, "Well, fuck it, you should do this," they're like, "Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! You keep your beliefs to yourself. I'll keep my beliefs to myself. You can't make me live by your beliefs." And it's like, dude, fuck you. And again, we're all guilty of it. So don't act like I'm just sitting on my high horse. I am sure I am more than guilty of saying people should do X, Y, and Z while getting irritated while people tell me to do the exact same shit. We all fucking do it. So again, I'm not saying that I'm immune to this problem, but let's be real, it is a fucking problem. And a lot of times, as far as in this society particularly, um, a lot of times we are quick to cast our opinion and our thoughts and our desires on what other people should do with their lives, but we fucking can't stand it when somebody imposes that shit on us. Like, cannot fucking stand it. And like one of the things that again, I'm not saying I'm for or against, but one of the things I found so funny is how um like a lot of atheists were fighting to get evolution taught in schools, and they get so irritated. Oh my gosh, how can you not teach evolution? And how can you? Oh my gosh, this is so bad. You got to teach evolution. You got to teach evolution. We need to put evolution in the science books. We need to put evolution in the school books. We need to do all this stuff. We need teachers to teach evolution. And then the intelligent design people came along and was like, hey, maybe we should teach this too. And they're like, no, fuck that shit. Get it out. And you're like, what? Time out. Time out. Time out. Hold up. Seriously? It's like you're fighting to get shit included because you feel like this is your stance. This is your I guess this is your information that you want to share, but somebody else comes along with their information they want to share, and we're like, no, fuck you, you keep your shit out. Really? Again, we are quick to impose our beliefs and our morals on other people. We are quick to do it, and I will raise my hand. I will be the first one to say I am quick to do it. But I get pissed off, and I'm sure other people do too, when someone else imposes their beliefs or their morals on us. And at the end of the day, we can't have it fucking both ways. We can't say you should listen to me, but when they turn around and say, well, okay, now it's your turn to listen to me. Oh fuck that, I want to hear that shit. It's like, what are we doing here, people? Like, how do we want to live our life? How do we want to do this? Do we want the whole world to just have a conversation about something, or do we just want to talk and just say fuck all the people who disagree with us? Because it seems like we're just saying fuck all the people who want to disagree with us. because I don't like what you're saying. I don't agree with your saying, fuck you. But then if it comes to my opinion, oh, you need to listen to what I say because I have freedom and I should have the right to voice my opinion and you need to listen. And what about being open minded? And that's the problem with you people. You're not open minded enough. And it's all bullshit. It's simply all bullshit because it's just, oh, it's fucking maddening. I remember I was in class one time, obviously online, because I'm not taking my fat ass to school. I'm tired. I was in class one time and we had a discussion about should a mentally retarded person be allowed to have a child. And one of the people actually responded, and again, I wasn't trying to be evil or anything at all. Hopefully you could believe that. But I really wasn't trying to be evil at all. But we was having this discussion, me and one of my other classmates, and I was just saying how that she was like, I had to call the social services and they got involved because she was mentally retarded and I didn't feel like she could take care of her child. And I'm like, well, that's really fucked up. You should just jump into somebody else's situation. I mean, obviously, if she's abusing the child, then yeah, you fucking jump in. But if you just feel like she can't take care of the child because she's mentally retarded, or she's mentally challenged or whatever, that's to me that's fucked up. It's like you're judging someone not knowing their situation. So someone else jumped in, obviously, because there's always somebody who has their fucking 2 cents. Goddamn people and their 2 cents. She jumps in and she's like, well, I agree with so and so. If you cannot take care of your child, then you should not be able to have children, and the state should come and take your child away. And I honestly, again, not even knowing this girl, I don't think I ever talked to her before ever. I was like, well, that's kind of fucked up. I'm like, so that means should people on welfare not be allowed to have children? Because technically they can't take care of their children. They don't have the money. They don't have generally the government is providing money, food, a place to live. So technically the government is taking care of the child. You're not doing shit. So you can't take care of your child should people on welfare not be allowed I'm sorry, not be allowed to have a child because you can't fucking take care of it. The same way we are judging and passing judgment on the mentally disabled, should we not pass the same judgment on people who are poor as fuck and can't afford to take care of children? So I'm like, it's really fun to, pass judgment on other people's lives. It's not as fun when people start passing judgment on your life. And I didn't even know this shit was on welfare. I swear to you, I didn't. But she replied back with how she's going to pray for me because people like me shouldn't be so judgmental. And I just thought it was the funniest shit in the world. It's like, bitch, you just sat up here and said that you're passing judgment on a retarded person. You know she can't take care of her child. But as soon as somebody started passing judgment on you and your situation, I swear to beans, didn't even know she was on welfare, but whatever. All of a sudden, she takes it personal, and it's like, no one should pass judgment on anyone. It's like, get the fuck out of here. And again, it's just to me, it's just a prime example of how we, as a society, we are quick to chastise, we are quick to criticize, we are quick to impose our moral standards on other people. We hate that shit when people pass it on us or people do it on us. And we all feel like we're right. We all feel like this is our standard, and our standard is obviously the best standard. And we all congregate in groups of people who agree with our standards, and we live accordingly to our standards. And anyone who lives outside of our standards, generally, not saying all, but generally people just put them down and make them feel like shit because you're not on our level, you're not on our standards. And your fucking life is just meaningless because you don't live how I live, because you don't worship Jesus, or you don't worship Allah, or you don't pray to Buddha, or you don't do whatever, or you pray to anybody at all, and you're just a fucking idiot because you are praying to an invisible God in the sky. And we all pass our judgment and standards on people, literally don't even know them, literally don't know anything about them, but because they don't believe or follow our morals or guidelines or our belief system, we just belittle them and make them feel like shit. And to me, it's really, 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 really fucking bad. And I just think, one, I think the only way we can start to hopefully grow as a society and hopefully grow as fucking people is to realize that other people have other morals than we do, and we need to respect that. And we shouldn't try to pass laws or try to manipulate the government to only fit and deem our morals. Because I've said it a long time, and I've said it for years. Um, Christians are famous for doing that shit. How they want everything to be governed the way they feel like it should be governed, and they want laws to pass according to their belief system. But what if Muslims did the exact same thing? What if we got a Muslim government and all of a sudden they started passing laws according to their fucking belief systems? They wouldn't like that shit too much. And as atheists, we hate any fucking religious passing of a law because we feel like it's all bullshit. Like, why am I being forced or subject myself to this when, okay, it's bullshit. I don't believe in it. But again, that's the state that we live in. That's the democracy. And I know I'm not saying that this is a Christian country, so please don't take it as that. I know we were not founded or built on Christian foundation or Christian beliefs, but the majority of the population in this country is Christian. So if they really wanted to live in a democracy, then if the Christians really wanted to be fucking assholes and vote according to their morality, we would all be forced to live by the stupid ass rules of religion. So how many people want to sign up for that shit? How many people want to sign up for having to go to church on Sundays and no swearing and no all this other shit? And some Christians believe in no drinking at all, even though a lot of Christians are some Christians are fucking alcoholics. They don't believe in drinking at all. They don't believe in doing certain. They don't believe in sex before marriage. So how many people are willing to wait to get married to have sex? I guess the only thing hopefully you get my point. I'm sure you do because if you're listening, you're generally pretty intelligent to listen to me. Um, I guess the whole point of the matter is maybe we should start looking at morality as a personal guide and not a universal guide. Maybe we should look at the way we look at the world as just the way we look at the world, and not get so pissed off and frustrated and irritated and angry and upset when people don't view it our way. And I think the biggest thing we should do, and I've been arguing this on a number of my videos, is maybe we should stop criticizing people for not seeing shit the way we see it. I think that's probably one of the steps that we can take as a society to where instead of just always having conflict and anger and frustration, we can actually start to have conversations and we can explain our point of views in an intelligent manner and then we can move forward. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to on my videos where generally a great deal of them we could just have conversation. We could disagree like fuck, but we will have a conversation, and I can see their point of view, they see my point of view, and we walk away hopefully both of us learning something about the other side of the argument. But there are a number of people who just come instantly in with the straight asshole words, fucking nigger and fuck you and all this other shit, and they just come full blast. So honestly, the only thing I can come back with them is full blast because it's not a conversation. It's just a fucking attack. And if you attack me, obviously I'm attacking back. So maybe we need to, again, evolve to the point where we can have a conversation about something that we disagree with, and then it doesn't become a fucking, a bitch session, or people get loud, or people just use insults to try to make it seem like they're saying something important, when in actuality, you're just being a fucking asshole. And then we can hopefully have I don't know, I doubt it will ever be, but we can hopefully have a moral code or a moral compass that's actually a little bit flexible to allow other people's morals to come into the picture. We can have, again, I hate paying for people who honestly doesn't do nothing with their fucking lives. And that honestly has a lot to do with my experience, and I just really want to touch on that real fast. One thing about morals is a lot of morals is experience based. It's experience driven. Some of this shit is taught. I'll give you that. Some of the shit is taught by people. It's handed down from father to son, or it's handed down from your parents to your child. You don't do this, you don't do that. You always try to be nice. You help the old lady across the street. You don't swear in front of old people. Shit like that. That's certain things that is taught and passed down. There's certain things that are taught from you know religious people. Religious people teach you how you should live your life and according to their book or whatever. And again, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying that's what happens. But a lot of morals is from experience. A lot of morals is, I know what fucking hurts me, so I'm never going to do this to someone else. I know this fucking hurts, so I want, like, I had somebody steal from me, so I would never want to steal from somebody else because it's really, it's a fucked up feeling. It's a really fucked up feeling. I've been in a relationship where someone cheated on me, so I don't want to impose that feeling on someone else. I've I've been in a relationship where I felt like shit, or I've been in situations where it's really bad. I've been bullied in my life, so I would never want to bully someone else. And if I see somebody bullying someone else, I feel like it's a moral issue to step in and be like, dude, back the fuck off. And the problem is a lot of people in their moral compass and in their moral set. And I know I'm running long, but fuck it, I'm just keep going because I started a little bit later the goddamn way. Um, I know some people in their moral compass and their moral set, they feel like in their world is that they haven't experienced a lot of shit. So they, a lot of their judgment and a lot of their their morals and their morality of situations is based off of what they've heard or what someone told them, or again what they've been taught. That's why me personally, a lot of religious people, when they start to see the world for the actual world that it is, they start to change their morals. They start to change their beliefs, and it's funny because I think like some Republicans had that shit happen where they were vehemently against gay people and gay people are evil and gay people are this and gay people are that and it's come to find out they had gay people in their family and it's like, oh well, gay people aren't that fucking bad because yeah, they had to experience. They had the experience of living something, of seeing a gay person, not on TV being flamboyant and out there and passing A's and all this other, stereotypical shit that they've heard their entire life. It's their daughter who's gay. And they're like, oh, well, she's not bad. So if she's not bad, then maybe other gay people aren't bad. So maybe my stance on this fucking issue should change. If we start to, I guess, experience the world more, and I'm not talking about fucking traveling, I'm talking about experiencing people, experiencing situations, experiencing different things that come up in life. How can you speak on abortion if you never had an abortion? How can you set moral guidelines and moral rules on a mother who, again, may have been raped? But we're telling her, I'm sorry, you can't have an abortion because my God says you can have an abortion. Fuck you and your God. How can we tell people, just any fucking thing. You shouldn't be able to kill. And again, this is a whole fucking murky subject. But like, under no circumstances should you ever hit a woman. And this is a huge more issue for some people. Under no circumstances you should never hit a woman. And typically, I agree with that. Typically. But I will say there are certain situations where women just push you to the edge of fucking insanity. And again, I'm not mentioning any names because that my court case is still pending. Um, but some women just push you to the brink of insanity where you're just like, dude, I just fucking lost it. So it's like, again, to me, what do you like? What do you do as far as if you don't experience something, but you're setting rules around shit that you know nothing about? And that's why I always find it funny when it comes to like politicians and poor people and how to help the poor people. And it's like, fuck you, dude. If you've never been poor, you can't speak on what poor people need or what poor people want because you haven't experienced it. And just like with our moral issues and our moral sector and and the guides that we use to set our life, a lot of times it's based on what we've experienced that shaped us and changed us into the person that we are. A lot of women I'm gonna say a lot. Some women have been in abusive relationships, so they can tell the signs and they know, that I would never be with a man who hit me because I've been with a man who hit me. I know the signs. I know how it feels. I don't want to do that. And men shouldn't hit women because it makes them feel like X, Y, and Z. That's their moral compass because of what they have fucking experienced. And I think a lot of people need to. I don't want to say they should experience bad shit because that sounds really bad. But a lot of people honestly need to experience life outside of their walls in order to understand what it fully means to have a moral compass and why other people feel the way that they feel. Again, we are completely judgmental, and obviously my church is entirely judgmental because I say a lot of crazy shit. But a lot of crazy shit I say is because of what I fucking experience. The reason I have certain morals and certain guidelines is because of what I fucking experience. The reason I would say you should never fucking smile in a guy's face and to try to fuck his girl behind his back is because of shit that I've experienced in my life, and that shit is fucking horrendous. The reason I say, or the reason I feel that poor people should get off their ass and do something with themselves, because the neighborhood I grew up in was not fucking rich. There was a lot of poor people in my neighborhood. Yeah, they had houses. My high school had a lot of fucking poor people in it, and I've been on both sides. I've seen that some people genuinely need help, but I've also seen that there are quite a few people who don't want fucking help. They would prefer to live poor. As stupid as that sounds to us, they would prefer to live poor because it's simple. They get their check the first of the month, they get their food stamps, and they are fucking happy. They are fine. That's the extent of the life that they want. And some people who are fighting to help these people out of poverty, they don't understand it because they've never fucking experienced it. And the people who, some people, I'm gonna say all, but some people who stand against sending my money to those fuckers is because we've experienced that side. I've been fucking poor. I've been fucking homeless. I've been all that shit. And honestly, I busted my ass, worked 2 jobs, and got the fuck out of that situation. And yes, it may be selfish, it may be naive, but I feel like, fuck that. If I can do it, they can fucking do it. I had a wife and 2 kids, and like literally, we lost everything. We lost the house, we lost the cars, we literally had absolute fucking nothing. And it took me about 2 years to get my shit together. Get it, well, I got a job, but it took me a while to get my shit together. Thank goodness my mom was there to help her brother out for a hot minute. But we got our shit together, and we were back. We were fine. But again, to me, it just that's my experience. So when I come across and I say, not saying it in a mean way, but fuck those people. Get your ass up and get a job and get on, start doing what you need to do. It's not because I'm Republican. It's not because I hate the fucking poor people. It's not because I'm rich and in the 1%. It's because I've fucking been there. I've lived it. I know it can be done. Now I know some people will say, well, you were a you're not the norm. No, that's the problem. I'm not the norm because in my opinion, I had a fucking drive. I had a will that I don't want to fucking live like this. And again, I've been around people who were poor, and it's too many of them. I'm not saying all. I'm not saying a majority of them. What I'm saying is there's too many of them who are comfortable in their situation of being fucking nothing. Absolute nothing. They are just so fucking comfortable. They wake up, they do nothing, they go back to sleep, they wake up, they go get their food, they do nothing, go back to sleep, they wake up, send their kids off to school because it's now it's Monday. Now I have shit else to do all day, go back to sleep. Like literally that's their life. So yeah, in my opinion, fuck them. But that's coming from experience. And that's probably, and I'll end it on that. That's the last thing I really want people to understand as far as the morality issue. A lot of morality issues, yes, some of the shit is brainwashed into some people's brain. I'm not even arguing that point. But some of our issues, some of the ways we feel about certain subjects and certain things is because we were fucking taught that. I'm sorry, not we fucking experienced that. We fucking experience different shit. That's why some people feel like, oh, you should never fight. Fighting is barbaric and animalistic and everything. I've been in situations where, yes, you can try to talk shit out, but sometimes you just gotta punch somebody in the fucking mouth. And I understand some people, moral issue, no, that's just wrong. That's bad. That's barbaric. We're not animals. Yes, that's fine. But from my experience, some people need to be punched in the fucking mouth. You can say it's right. You can say it's wrong. But from my world, I see nothing wrong with that. And I'm not saying drag the motherfucker down the street by his hair and shoot him, but punch him in his fucking mouth. Because some people need a punch in the mouth. But that's how it comes to, in my opinion, that's the whole morality issue. And I know I've jumped all the way around. But again, if you take nothing else away from this, just take this. Your morals are just that, your morals. What you believe is just that, what you believe. You may find other people who agree with you, you may find other people who disagree with you. But again, it all comes back down to that's yours. And when you start imposing or pushing your morals on other people, there's always going to be fucking conflict. Because some people have been taught differently. Some people have different experiences than you do. Some people have lived a life that you can't even fucking imagine. And when they feel or do or say certain things, it's because their moral compass is completely different or altered from yours. And that doesn't make them bad people. That doesn't make them good people. And like I said, we all have certain standards that we can pretty much agree on. Where don't kill, don't rape, don't fuck with little kids and everything. But when you start getting to the little murky gray areas, some people just have different shit than you do. And that doesn't make them necessarily bad people. That doesn't make them evil people, but it just makes them fucking people who have a different set of values than you have experienced or you have been taught in your fucking life. And as long as they generally aren't hurting someone else, and as long as they're not forcing their morals or beliefs or make you follow their morals or beliefs, then, in my opinion, leave them fucking alone. All right, man, that's it. Thanks for listening. I am still working on the webcam, but I don't know how that shit's gonna turn out, and I don't want you guys to see me up here fucking sweating because it's hot as shit in here. But that's it, man. Thanks for listening, everybody who stayed. I know it was kind of long. I know I was late as shit. But thank you so much, and I will see y'all soon.
YouTube, I don't know what this shit's worth.